Friends, countrymen, lend me your ears. These 15 quotes are about to change your life. Hey guys, your boy Buck says back in for another video this week. Here we have the difficult conversations that no one else is having in society. Difficult conversation this week, difficult conversations this month, potato. I'm going to take you through 15 quotes that I think will resonate with you. I keep a log of quotes in a journal, and these have resonated me throughout my life and have helped me at difficult points in my life, and I hope that they can help you too. So let's just get going with the list. The first one: comparisons will rob you of joy. I think a lot of people get caught up in comparing their lives to others, comparing it to partners, comparing it to their family, comparing it to their friends, comparing it to cousins. And I think a lot of us have grown up in, states of competition amongst family, amongst friends. But sometimes I think it does rob you of your joy. I think the true happiness is contentment in what you're doing and your own plan. So I think stop making comparisons for your own good. Number two, people have forgotten how to speak properly without offending horribly, which is really poignant in this day and age with social media. Again, social media is something that rewards polarity. This platform rewards polarity in many ways, and at the end of the day, I think it's very easy to attack someone for their beliefs instead of actually logically trying to approach the solution. It's very easy to hate someone that holds the opposing belief. But I think if you speak properly, you're more likely to get someone on your side of thinking than you are the opposite way. Any way of speaking horribly is only going to alienate people and actually allow them to believe that the hill that they're on is going to be solidified by their own way of thinking, by thinking you're the enemy. So, number three, very important in life, very important in generally, in especially something that affects all of us, our professional careers. You don't get what you deserve, you get what you negotiate. And what that means is, look, if you don't ask, you don't get, but you've also got to, you can't expect things to be handed to you. I think you really need to understand your own value around you with friends, families, partners. This is not just negotiating your salary. I weren't negotiating bonuses, negotiating your hukmah, negotiating dowry, whatnot. I think you really need to be able to ascertain your own value, and you can't actually feel angry at certain things, because if you're not really establishing your own value in a positive manner, then you're not able to negotiate in the best possible way. And in life, people don't get what they deserve, right? Negotiation is a skill, and if you're not teaching yourself how to negotiate and the tools needed to successfully do so, then you're already at a disadvantage. Number four, to live in the past is to die in the present. I see a lot of people who, look, I've grown up in Asian families. There's no one that can hold a grudge quite like an Asian, and I think we tend to hold grudges quite easily, and I think that they're like kind of one of those diseases that aren't really in medical textbooks, but that gnaw on you psychologically. And it's just not just about that. It's about, toxic relationships. It's about hate you have. It's about anything that's kind of hurt you in your life. And I think to constantly live in grief, to constantly live in hate, or to live in regret is to constantly be stuck and not allow you to move forward and not allow you to kind of develop in the way you want to be. So stop remembering what happened and start making new memories. Start moving in a direction that is actually emblematic of who you are now rather than who you were then. Number five. Don't set yourself on fire to keep someone else warm. And this is very poignant, very resonant. I think a lot of people can get drawn into toxic situations, whether that's with a parent, whether that's with a colleague, whether that's with a partner. I think sometimes a lot of us as humans have this savior complex of wanting to save people around us, and wanting to really kind of, I guess, be a martyr to our own instincts, feel like we owe people things. And actually sometimes it's just a lot easier to walk away rather than, being a martyr and being there for someone who can't really help themselves. And I think it's a hard thing to do, and it's so insidious and it's hard to identify, but being able to walk away from situations that are of no benefit to you is a skill, much like negotiation discussed previously. Number six, in times of crisis, the wise build bridges, the foolish build barriers. Again, emblematic of today's day and age. Where everything is so team driven. We're always leveraging to making these decisions. Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Tory, Conservative, Vax, anti-vax. There's consistently a bridge between two opposing sides, right, with no bridge in the middle, right? It's just two people with megaphones screaming at each other from another end. Now, I think to move forward as humanity, to move forward in our own communities, we need to build bridges amongst each other. It's quite self-explanatory, you know. You need to walk towards each other rather than be continually separated. 8, very important, quite possibly the number one, and these are in no particular order really of importance, but number 8, no is a complete sentence. I think people don't really understand that. When anyone you're giving excuses to, you don't have to give a reason, and I think that should be a personal boundary. You don't have to give a reason. I think the problem is people get caught up into giving reasons as to why they can't do things, why they can't be involved in certain things, and actually it makes it a lot harder. Number 10, if you aim at nothing, you hit nothing, and just try stuff. You know, I think we as humans, we get so caught up in routine and everything now that we don't try anything. We actually don't, we just don't do stuff. We're so stuck in fear of failure that we don't really want to try. So just try, do stuff, and actually the more you fail, the better you'll get at stuff. Number 11, no amount of money bought you a second of time. In a world that's in a world that we are in, the capitalist structures that we exist in the rat race that is buying a house, buying a car, wanting to support your family, I think sometimes we can get drawn up into it in thinking that money will bring us this sort of happiness. There was a study done long ago that said like the optimal salary at which you peak your happiness is something like $90,000, which is quite interesting. It's still a very high salary, but the point of the matter is that I think people overvalue money and they devalue time. Time cannot be bought. It's a currency that we all trade in that we actually don't really value how we trade. So, you know, spend time with your friends and family, spend time with your kids. There's nothing more important than time, and how you gift out your time is also very important. Number 12, when seeking revenge, dig 2 graves. And this, one of my favorite quotes, right? Revenge is a pursuit that will leave you as worse off as the person you are seeking it against, and you can read into that what you will. 13, assume ignorance over malice. I think a lot of the time, a lot of disagreements, family, friends, whatever, can actually be boiled down to this. Sometimes people are just ignorant. I don't think they're out to get you. I don't think they're out to really alienate you or annoy you. But sometimes it just is that fact that actually someone is just very ignorant. And again, it comes back to the build bridges, not barriers. Don't just alienate them completely just because they are ignorant. 14, and this is the penultimate one for a lot of you watching, a lot of you are in marriages. Marriage is a novel, not a short story. Lots of people give up now. Our generation, well, we seem to get tired with it, that we give up more. The divorce rate's 50%. And I think it's just a lack of compromise. It's that people show their colours fairly early on, and actually very difficult, isn't it, to maintain something when you don't have those tenets of compromise, when you don't have incentives to stay together because you have everything at your fingertips. You can go and find someone else, or it feels easy at least to find someone else, and you'll probably suffer from the same afflictions there. So, novel, not a short story. 15 is my favourite quote, and a quote I'll leave you with, and it will close out the video. Don't treat people as bad as they are. Treat people as good as you are. So many people get caught up in hating people, in taking this position of feeling like they need to treat people or exact revenge in a way that they've been subjected to, talk to people in a way that they've been spoken to. Actually, be true to yourself. Be true to your beliefs. Be true to your upbringing. Be true to yourself, actually. I think people know what's right and wrong. I think people know how to act. Be as good as you are. Continue to be good. And that's what Bucks has to say for this week.